Bismillah wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wa hlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Rabbi yassir wa la tu'assir wa tammim bil khair. So yassir wa tu'assir are from the bab of sabbaha yusabbihu, right? Yes, excellent. So we have learned the mazid fi forms, 3 of them. The first one is the standard one, which is fa'ala yaf'alu fi'lan. And the second one is sabbaha yusabbihu tasbihan, sabbih and la tusabbih, only for the sake of learning. We cannot ask someone la tusabbih, right? That's not possible. Similarly, jahada, yujahidu, mujahadatan, jahid and la tujahid, again, only for the purpose of learning. We cannot ask someone la tujahid because mujahada is something we need to do on a daily basis. And then we have aslama, yuslimu, islaman, aslim, la tuslim. So 3 forms of the verb. Again, inshallah, I don't want to give you the 4th now because I want you to first master these forms, and tomorrow please remind me. I will give you some verbs, we will practice them, and then inshallah we will move on to the 4th and the 5th form of the verb. Okay, so I have the feeling that you have already gone through the handouts. Okay, so we are not going to discuss everything in the handouts. The only just like go through the for one time only, so that you remember that what we are going to learn in this lesson number 17. So in this lesson, basically we will learn first of all the changes in the present tense, al-mudari. So the use of an and the use of li. Li is called lam ta'lil, and an is also particle of mudari, which basically called nasib al-mudari, yani it changes mudari into nasb. Normally we have learned the standard form of the present tense, which ends with u or una or ina, right? For example, yadhabu and yadhabuna and tadhabina, right? So we have learned the form which end with u or una and ina. Now we will see that the use of an brings changes to the ending of the mudari, and adhabu becomes adhaba, as we can see in this example. If you want to say I want to go, so you will say uridu an adhaba. Uridu an adhaba. So an means to, and it was adhabu, but what happened because of an, fatha changed into dhamma changed into fatha, so it became uridu an adhaba, I want to go. Similarly, we have more examples, and all these examples are from the lesson. So inshallah, we will go through these examples through the lesson. Only one example, for example, aturidu an ta'kula. Do you want to eat? So it was basically ta'kulu, you eat, but when we added an, then the meaning also changed, and also the ending of ta'kulu changed into ta'kula. Aturidu an ta'kula, do you want to eat? Then we have learned the use of li. Li is called lam ta'lil, means the lam of reason. So when we want to describe the reason of the action, like why did we do this action, then we use li, and the mudari also changes from dhamma to fatha. For example, if I ask you, لماذا تريدون أن تدرس العربية? Why do you want to learn Arabic? So when I say tadrasul, it was tadrasu all, so it becomes noon gets dropped. So this one we will learn now, inshallah. But if I'm asking one person, only one person, so tadrasu will become tadrasa. For example, لماذا تريد أن تدرس العربية? Why do you learn Arabic? So the answer will be أدرس اللغة العربية لأفهم القرآن. لأفهم القرآن. Excellent. So I'm learning Arabic to understand Quran. So li gives the meaning of, gives us the reason, and the reason is to understand. So it was basically afhamu, but the use of, or the introduction of li changed the mudari from dhamma to fatha. So mu becomes ma, li afham al-Qur'ana. And
so more example from the Quran, Ustad. لِنُرْسِلَ عَلَيْهِمْ حِجَارَةً مِّن طِينٍ.
Yes, there are many examples.
Many examples.
Yeah. So, mashallah, yani, as I said, the use of lam al-ta'lil is used so extensively in the Quran. almost in every surah, of course, in every surah, but in almost on every page, we find the example of the use of lam talil. Okay, ذهبت إلى الحمام لأغسل وجهي. So again here, it was أغسل, and when we used lam talil, it became أغسل لأغسل وجهي. يمكن is the fourth form of the verb. أمكن, يمكن, إمكانا. On the pattern of أسلم, يسلم, Islam. Excellent. So on that pattern, so when we use the word yumkinu, it's basically used as a phrase, and it is mostly used in the spoken Arabic, like when you want to ask someone, is it possible for someone to do something? So then it is used as an expression. For example, ayumkinuni an ajlisa huna, may I sit here, or is it possible for me to sit here? So ayumkinuni. So it should have been umkinuni, right? Because umkinuni for possible for me, right? Because we know that when we say I want, it starts with hamza. And for example, adhabu, yeah. But instead of saying umkinuni, we are using the third form of the verb, which is yumkinuni. And the reason is this is used as an expression. So ayumkinuni an ajlisa huna. If you say yumkinu, it's possible for him, right? But when you say yumkinuni, then it becomes possible for me. Is it possible for me to sit here? And the answer is naam yumkinuka an tajlisa. It is possible for you. And again, it's not tumkinuka, it is yumkinuka. It's possible for you to sit there. And as you rightly said, mundu is a preposition. And we know that the noun that follows a preposition will be majroor. So look at the example, ma ra'aytuhu mundu yawmis sabti. So the introduction of mundu has changed yawma into yawmi, and it has become majroor. Yawmis sabti, and it is used as I have not seen him since Saturday. And the most important rule of the present tense, if the doer is apparent, for example, we can see here the fa'il is apparent, for example, Muhammadun, then we will always start it with the first form of the verb, which is dakhala. Dakhala Muhammadun, Muhammad entered. When I say the first form of the verb, if you remember that we always start with the madi, which is dhahaba, and then we go up to nadhabu, or dhahabna, I should say. So from dhahaba, we continue and we go up to dhahabna, 14 forms of the verb. So the first one will always be dhahaba, kharaja, dakhala. That is the first one. And for the feminine, it will be with ta as-sakina, which is called ta at-tanif, which will be dakhalat, kharajat, dhahabat, right? So if the doer is apparent, if it's a noun, and whether it is singular or dual or plural, we will only use the first form of the verb, which is dakhala. So for the past, we will say dakhala Muhammadun, Muhammad entered. And for the feminine, for the past, we will say dakhalat Aminatu, Amina entered. And we have discussed many times that whether we have Muhammad or if we have Muhammad wa Irfan wa Bilal or how many persons we have, we will only use dakhala. And similarly, if we have more than one feminine, for example, Amina wa Fatima wa Aisha wa Zainab, still we will use dakhalat, okay? And for the present tense, we know that we have to use the present form of the verb, which is yadrusu, from darasa yadrusu, and for the feminine, it will be tadrusu. So yadrusu Ibrahim al-lughat al-almaniyata, Ibrahim studies or is studying German, wa tadrusu Maryam al-lughat al-fransiyata, and Maryam is studying French, or Maryam studies French. As we discussed that when we say tadrusu or when we say yadrusu, it can be translated as present, it can be translated as future, and it can be also translated as present continuous. As we can see here, Ibrahim is studying German, which is present continuous. Then if there are two types of gender, do you remember what are those two types of gender we discussed earlier? Real gender and unreal gender. Or there are two types of feminine, I should say, sorry. There are two types of feminine.
Real feminine,
real feminine and unreal feminine. So the real feminine means all the human beings and animals that are in pairs, yeah. So all of them that have pairs are called real feminine. For example, we have waladun, and the feminine is bintun. Similarly, we have rajulun, and the feminine is imra'atun. So similarly, we have abun, and the feminine is ummun, right? So real gender. Similarly, we have learned that dikun is used for rooster, and for chicken we use dajajatun. So dikun is rooster, and similarly, hisanun is used for the horse, and what is the feminine of that? Faris?
Hailu? No.
It's
Faris? No,
Faris.
Faris is
And the Faris is
knight.
the rider. Yeah. No. It slipped from my mind, so let me recall, or maybe later, inshallah. So we have Dikun and the Jajatun. Yeah, and we have Hisanun and Farasun. Farasun, that's right. Faras is used for the mare, as we say. Similarly, when we want to use the verb samaha, and it always comes with the preposition of la. Do you remember there is another verb that we have learned that comes with the preposition of la? Qala. Qala li. Qala la. وَإِذْ قَالَ رَبُّكَ لِلْمَلَائِكَةِ لِلْمَلَائِكَةِ, right? He said to me, qala li. So these are the prepositions that come with lam, and here we have samaha, he permitted. Samaha lahu bil khuruji, he permitted him to leave. And similarly, ismah li bil julusi huna, permit me to sit here, and la asmahu laka bid dukhul, I don't permit you to enter, or I don't permit you the entrance. Okay. Bil khuruj can also be, we can also use an, and for example, samaha lahu ay yakhruja, he allowed him to leave. Okay. So similarly, ismah li bil julus or an ajlisa. So both of them are changeable. Either we can use the masdar julus, or we can also use an, and then after an we know we have to use the present tense. And la asmahu laka bid-dukhuli, and la asmahu laka an takhruja. An takhruja, and I will not allow you to leave. So both of them are interchangeable. Either we can use the masdar, or we can use an and the present tense. Arju, I request. All right, so just a small what's this file that I want to show you. So here, for example, if you want to, okay, screen, are you able to see now? Al-jins, the gender, can you see this one?
Yes, Ustad.
Okay, so as we can see here, al-jinsu, gender, it will be either al-mudhakkaru or al-mu'annathu. So the default one will be mudhakkar. What is meant by default? Yani every noun in Arabic language will be considered as masculine. Every noun, when we look at the noun for the first time, for example, kitabun wa qalamun or kursiyun. So whenever we look at the noun for the first time, we will say that it is masculine. So the default is masculine. However, for al-mu'annathu, for the feminine, there are some categories. For example, we have real gender. Real gender, as I discussed earlier, humans and animals are in the category of real gender. For example, we have ummun, and the reason why we say real gender because it has opposite pair. For example, ummun abun and baqaratun thawrun. So we have cow and we have ox. Okay. So this is what we call real
Ustad,
gender. Yes.
Ustad, is the same as aqil, ghair aqil, right?
That's right. Exactly. Yeah. So when we say aqil, but no, this is a little bit different because in aqil, we cannot include animals. Aqil does not include animals, but
Haqiqi and Mijazi.
yeah, so aqili and majazi, or
Aqil only include insan, malaika,
Haqiqi and
jinn.
Mijazi, Ustad.
haqiqi and majazi, yes. Aqil, as
Aqil
Irfan said,
include insan, malaika and jinn.
yeah, it includes human beings and
Malaika and jinns.
and malaika, angels and jinns.
Angels and jinns.
Yes, shayateen. Whereas when we talk about the unreal gender, we can recognize unreal gender in two ways. Number one, by the symbol. For example, ta marbuta, which is very famous. For example, sayyaratun, the jajatun. So ta marbuta is the symbol of feminine. Similarly, ya, or we should say alif maqsura, like alif maqsura like bushra, right? So yeah, bushra, for example, so that is alif maqsura, and alif mamduda means when we have alif and after that we have hamza, for example, sama'un, and similarly we have learned sahra'u, and then there are some other verbs. The colors for the feminine also end with alif mamduda. So these are the symbols of unreal gender. For example, ta marbuta, alif maqsura, and then we have alif mamduda. Exceptions, for example, names of the towns, villages, and countries. So names of the towns, villages, and countries are always feminine. Parts of the body that are in pairs, if you remember, for example, yadun, warijlun, and the parts of the body that are in pairs, so they are also feminine. Names given to fire, annar, hariq, and then there are many names that are given to fire in Arabic. So all the names of the fire are also, or the things that burn, like Jahannam, Nar, all of them are feminine. And names given to the wind, for example, Rih, Samum, so these names are also feminine. And broken plural of irrational beings. So broken plural of irrational beings, for example, Kitab is masculine, but when we say Kutubun, it will be feminine, right? Similarly, we say Qalamun is masculine, but when we say aqlamun, it will be feminine. So this is just for you to memorize or just to relate. You can write it down. You can take a screenshot as well. That so mudhakkar, every noun is mudhakkar by default. The real gender that has opposite pair, which is like human beings and animals, and the unreal gender, it's symbolic. For example, we have ta marbuta, alif maqsura, and alif mamduda. Whereas the exceptions are there, you can go through the exceptions as well. Now, inshallah, we can go through our lesson. I hope it's clear now. Any questions? So hopefully it's clear now.
Alhamdulillah, yes, Ustaz.
Okay. Where is the lesson? Let me see. Handouts. Attendance. All right. Close this. All right. Okay, so you should be able to see the lesson now. All right, so الدرس السابع عشر, lesson number 17. المدرس لما خرجت من الفصل يا عمار? Why did you leave the classroom, oh Ammar? Would you like to participate or like try and see how much you're able to do, inshallah? And I'm sure all of you will be able to do that. So I would like two of you to participate, and inshallah, if there is any help needed, I will be there to participate.
Inshallah, yes, Ustaz. Yes, we'll
please.
try.
Yes, please.
Yes. لما خرجت من الفصل يا عمار?
Mhm.
Why did you leave the class?
Oh, Ammar.
Oh,
Okay.
Ammar.
So kharajta, right? Lima
Yes.
kharajta.
Lima.
You left.
Lima.
Yeah, lima kharajta. Why did you leave? If you want to talk about yourself, lima kharajtu, right? So lima kharajta min al-fasli ya Ammaru. Why did you leave the classroom? Oh, Ammar. Yes, who is going to be Ammar?
عمار خرجت لأشرب الماء. I just exited so that I can drink some water.
Okay, again. Kharaj.
خرجت, sorry,
Yes.
خرجت لأشرب الماء. I left so that I can drink some water.
Excellent. I left in order to drink water or so that I can drink some water. Okay. لأشرب الماء. So it was أشربu, and because of li, it has become أشربا. Okay. And al-ma'a
Walima.
is mansub. Sorry, it's mansub because it is maf'ul bihi.
أشرب الماء.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, yes, please carry on.
Okay. ولما خرج ياسر معك? Why did you leave Yasin
Why,
معك
With you.
why
with
did
you?
Yasser is leaving Yasser is leaving with you?
With you.
Mhm.
Why is here?
Why did Yasir leave
Lima,
with
Leave.
you? ولما خرج ياسر معك? And why did
why did
Yasir leave with you?
leave
Yes?
along
With
with
you.
you?
Yeah, along with
Along
you.
with you.
Yes, okay.
Umaru huwa kharaja liyaghsila wajhaha
Wajha.
wajha
Who?
wajhahu. Oh,
Yes.
his face. Huwa, that is he left so that he can wash his face.
Excellent. Umaru. Why it's not Umarun?
Because it's mamnu min as-sarf.
Yeah, we have Ammarun. Ammarun is not Mamnu min as-sarf, whereas Umaru is on the pattern of Fu'adu. That's why it is Mamnu min as-sarf. Huwa kharaja, he left. لِيَغْسِلَ وَجْهَهُ, so that he could wash his face. So he left in order to wash his face. All right. Humayun.
Ya Ustazu, ana uridu an ajlisa huna amamaka. Maq'adi bayidun anka wa min hunaka la ara ma taktabu ala subura. Ya Ustad, ana uridu an ajlis. I wish I sit. I wish I would sit. Huna amamaka, here in front of you. Maq'adi bayidun anka. My seat is far away from you. Wa min hunaka la ara, and from there I cannot see ma taktuba ala subura, what you write on the blackboard. Ala suburati.
على السبورة أحسنتي. يا أستاذ أنا أريد أن أجلس هنا أمامك. Oh teacher, I want to sit here in front of you. مقعدي بعيد عنك. My seat is away from you. ومن هناك لا أرى ما تكتب على السبورة. And from there I don't see, or I cannot see, what you write on the board. What kind of ma is this?
Ma taktubu is a negation, Ustad.
Negation.
La.
Nafia. No,
Ma.
nafia.
Masula, sir.
ما الموصولة.
Oh, الذي ما هو الموصولة.
Yeah. ومن هناك لا أرى ما تكتب على السبورة. And from there I don't see what you write on the board. Okay, so look at the translation, or that you write on the board. Okay, so when you try to change it with الذي, it will make sense. So لا أرى الذي تكتب على السبورة. I don't see that you write on the board. So this is ما الموصولة. Excellent. Next, المدرس.
يمكنك أن تجلس هنا الآن. هذا مقعد حمزة وغائب منذ أسبوع. اسمعوا يا وهو غائب منذ أسبوع. اسمعوا يا أبنائي. تبدأ عطلة الصيف بعد شهر. أين تذهبون في هذه عطلتي؟
Yes.
يمكنك أن تجلس. Is it possible for me to sit here right now?
لا يمكنك, it's possible for you.
Possible for you.
For you.
أن تجلس هنا الآن, it's possible for you to sit here.
To sit here.
Here now, okay.
Here now. هذا مقعد حمزة. This is the place of Hamza.
Excellent.
وغائب منذ أسبوع.
وهو
غائب.
منذ أسبوع. He was absent since last week.
Okay. Since
اسمعوا
1 week, yes.
Since أسبوع in 1 week. اسمعوا يا أبنائي.
Oh my son, listen.
Listen to me.
Listen to me, oh my son. Oh my sons.
My sons.
Isma'u is for the plural
Isma.
for masculine, right? Isma,
فعل الأمر.
Isma'a, Isma'u. Yes.
اسمعوا.
Okay, it's fi'l al-amr, that's right.
تبدأ عطلة الصيف بعد شهر.
Yes. And the summer vacation starts
Will start after 1 month.
After 1
one
month.
Yes, okay.
أين تذهبون في هذه العطلة? Where do you all go for this vacation?
Excellent. Yes. MashaAllah. So يمكنك أن تجلس هنا الآن. It's possible for you to sit here now. هذا مقعد حمزة. This is the seat of Hamza. وهو غائب منذ أسبوع, and he is absent for 1 week or since 1 week. اسمعوا يا أبنائي. Listen, oh my sons. تبدأ عطلة. Okay, تبدأ عطلة is feminine. As we can see here, it has ta marbuta. So that's why it starts with تبدأ. يعني تبدأ, she begins,
That is
or
the
she's,
status
yeah,
of
she starts. And تبدأ عطلة, the vacation starts. عطلة الصيف, the summer vacation starts. بعد شهر, after 1 month. أين تذهبون في هذه العطلة? Where will you go during or in this vacation? Where will you go, or where are you going to go during this vacation? Because we are talking about, like here we can see that تذهبون is used in the context of the future. أين تذهبون في هذه العطلة? يعني where will you go to during this vacation? Okay, بعض الطلاب. So some students, yes.
نريد أن نذهب إلى بلادنا.
Yes.
نريد we want أن تذهب to go إلى بلادنا, to our country.
بلادنا or بلدي?
لا, بلادنا. بلد is
بلادي.
one and بلاد is the plural. Yes. So نريد أن نذهب
بلادنا,
إلى
to our country.
بلادنا. We want to go to our countries. Yes, that's right. It's a bit late. Summer vacation is already finished. We have already come back. In fact, we didn't even travel. So yes, المدرس.
أين تريد أن تذهب أنت يا هشام? Where do you want to
Go. Yes.
go?
Oh, Hashim. Yes.
Oh, Hashim.
Yes.
Where do you
Yes.
want to go to?
Oh, Hashim.
Oh, Hashim.
Okay, excellent. أين تريد أن تذهب? So it was basically تذهب because of أن, it has become تذهب. أنت يا هاشم. Where do you want to go, oh Hashim? Yes, Hashim.
أريد أن أذهب إلى مصر. I wish to go to Egypt.
Egypt. Misr. Okay, so why it's Misra? Why not Misri?
ممنون من الصرف أستاذ.
Okay, why is that?
Name of the city, sir. Country or
Name
city.
of the country, yeah. So all names of the countries are ممنوع من الصرف.
عجمي.
Yes, so أريد أن أذهب إلى مصر. I want to go to Egypt. Okay. المدرس.
لما تريد أن تذهب إلى مصر? Why do you want to go to مصر?
Why do you want to go to Egypt? Okay, Hashim.
You are Hashim.
أريد أن أذهب إلى مصر لأزور أخي الذي يدرس في جامعة الأزهر. I wish to go. I wish, so that أذهب أن أذهب. So, I wish I, so that
I want to go to Misr to see my brother
to
who
Misr,
studies
so
in
that I
Jamiat
can
Al-Azhar.
visit my brother who Al-Lazi, the one Yadrusu, the one who is
Studying.
studying في جامعة الأزهر, in the University of Azhar.
Excellent.
Okay.
أريد أن أذهب إلى مصر. I want to go to Egypt. لأزورا. Okay, now we'll see here again to visit, or in order to visit.
لام التعليل.
Yes, لام التعليل. In order to visit. أخي الذي يدرس في جامعة الأزهر. To visit my brother who is studying in Al-Azhar University. Okay. Now, have you noticed the difference between الذي and ma?
Yes,
The
ma
difference
is
between
for irrational.
Now,
And here
ma
it
is
is
used for irrational, and that's number one, excellent. And number two, ma is used for unspecific things, whereas alladhi is used for specific things. For example, here akhi is specified. So we know that when someone or something is specified, then we use alladhi or allati or allati or allai. But when the doer or when the person is unknown, or the thing is unknown, then most of the times we use ma. So ma is unspecific and alladhi is specific. Okay. And as you rightly said, ma is used for things. It's not used for human beings. Yes. Al-mudarrisu.
وأين تريد أن تذهب أنت يا يوسف and where do you want where do you want to go, O Yusuf?
Excellent. Yes, Yusuf. Yusufu,
أريد أن أذهب إلى لندن.
I want to.
I wish I go to London.
Yes, I want to go to London. Okay.
London.
Okay.
ألا تريد أن تذهب إلى بلدك? You don't want to go to your country?
Don't you want to go to your country?
Don't you want to go to your country?
أن تذهب إلى بلدك? Don't you want to go to your country? Yusufu.
نعم لا يريد أن أذهب إلى بلدي هذه السنة. أريد أن أذهب إلى لندن لأدرس اللغات الإنجليزية هناك. نعم yes لا أريد هناك. نعم yes لا أريد أن أذهب. I don't wish that I go to my hometown. هذه السنة this year. أريد أن أذهب إلى لندن. I wish to go to London so that I may learn, so that I may study the language of English or the English language there.
Okay, so the verb that we use normally for wish is tamanna yatamanna, to wish. For example, atamanna an adhaba, I wish to go. Whereas uridu is mostly like it's translated as I want to.
I want.
Yeah, so
okay.
Naam, yes. La uridu an adhaba ila baladi hadhihi sanata. I don't want to go to my country this year. أريد أن أذهب إلى لندن لأدرس اللغة الإنجليزية هناك. I want to go to London to study English language over there. هناك, there. هنا, here. So when we add ka, it becomes there. المدرس.
ألا يمكنك أن تدرس اللغة الإنجليزية في بلدك? Is it not possible for you to study English language in your country?
Excellent, mashallah. Yusuf.
نعم لا يمكنني ذلك لأننا أهل بلدي يدرسون اللغات الفرنسية ولا يدرسون اللغات الإنجليزية. Yes, لا يمكنني. It is not possible ذلك that لأن because لأن أهل بلادي يدرسون اللغات الفرنسية because in my country يدرسون
they study or the people
study
French.
Okay, the people study French ولا يدرسوا and they don't ولا يدرسون they don't study اللغات الإنجليزية.
English language.
The English language.
نعم لا يمكنني ذلك. Yes, it's not possible for me, or that is not possible for me. So ذلك or the asma wal ishara in Arabic, sometimes they are translated in a way like in opposite. Like for example, ذلك is that, but it can be translated as this as well, depending on the context. This is to glorify or to emphasize the idea. For example, ذلك الكتاب. So it's, as you see, this is the book, it's translated as, so this is just to glorify. So when you want to, or for emphasis, for taqeed, ishara can be changed from hada to dhalika and dhalika to hada. That's number one. لا يمكنني ذلك, it's not possible for me. And number two, it will be translated as it is not possible for me, or that is not possible for me. لأن, what do you remember about لأن? What's the meaning of لأن? Because, that's number one.
Because
Number two, the lam of anna is lam ta'lil.
Taril.
Lam ta'lil. Now you know that anna means that, but when we say li anna, it is translated as because. Okay, anna means that. Yeah.
لأننا.
Yeah, li anna. Okay, so because li annana, because we, li annani, because I, and we know that anna will definitely have a subject which is called ismu anna, and then there will be
Ismu
khabar which is called
Khabar
khabar anna. Okay, so we know that ismu anna will be mansub, as we can see here, ahla. So it's not ahlu, it's ahla. لأن أهل بلدي يدرسون. أهل بلدي is اسمه إن and يدرسون. Yeah, it's مضاف مضاف إليه. And يدرسون اللغة الفرنسية. All of this is خبر أن. خبر أن. That's number one. Number two, as you can see here, the word ahl is used for, it is collective noun. Collective noun is ismu jama'. Yani ahl, it has its own plural. For example, ahluna. But even the word ahal itself means the people. That's why you see the verb that we have used after that is yadrusuna. The verb that we have used is the plural, you know, for the yadrusu, yadrusani, yadrusuna, for the third person plural. So لأن أهل بلدي يدرسون اللغة الفرنسية, because the people of my country study French language. ولا يدرسون اللغة الإنجليزية, and they do not study English language. All right, so ahl, as you can see here, it is used as collective noun, which includes inna ya'juj wa ma'juj mufsiduna fil ardi, right? Mufsiduna. Ya'juj, ma'juj is a nation. So some nouns are used as, or they are people. So some nouns are used as collective noun. That means they are used as plural. However, if you see them lafziyan as a word, they seem to be singular. المدرس في أي كلية تريد أن تدرس في العام المقبل يا مروان? In which faculty do you want to study in the coming year, O Marwan? And Marwan says, أريد أن أدرس في كلية الشريعة. I want to study in the College of Sharia.
Sir, I have a question, sir.
Yes.
Marwanu, alif noon zaidatan.
That's
Still, sir,
right.
we have
Yeah, because of ya, you know that
yeah.
munada will be always marfu with dhamma.
With them.
Yeah, ya
But it is
Marwanu, ya Rajulu,
because
ya
it is for
Bilal.
two reasons. No, Ustad. One is it is a
Alif
proper
noon
noun.
are extra, yes.
Proper
An
noun.
extra alif noun.
All right. Is there anyone else who wants to participate except for you, sisters? Thank you very much. Irfan has also participated. Anyone else?
مروان أريد أن أدرس في كلية الشرعية. Okay, shall I repeat it?
Okay, I've done that part. So المدرس
المدرس في أي كلية تريد أن تدرس أنت يا موسى? In which faculty do you want to study, O Musa?
Okay. All right, Musa over there. Okay, I'll be Musa. لا يمكنني أن أدرس بالجامعة في العام المقبل. It's not possible for me to study in a university in the coming year. ذلك, that is لأنني, because I. So that is because I. لأنني مريض, I am sick. As you can see here, لأن and ni will be اسم أن, and مريض will be خبر أن. لأنني مريض because I am sick. وأريد أن أذهب إلى الولايات المتحدة للعلاج, and I want to go to the United States for treatment. Okay, للعلاج. What kind of li is this?
Jar, sir.
Harf jar, excellent. So now we have learned that li is used as harf jar, and the noun that follows it will be majroor, lil ilaji. And also we are learning that li is used as lam ta'lil, lam of reason, which it changes mudari into mansub. Okay, al-mudarris.
Shafakallahu. May Allah
Give
grant
you
you
help.
Yes, may
health.
Allah heal you. Okay, so shifa, it was basically, do you remember? It was basically alif maqsura. But when we connect it with the pronoun, then it becomes alif, or the normal alif, we should say it becomes alif. So it has become shafa with alif. It was basically alif maqsura. Shafak Allahu, may Allah heal you. Amrun,
Sir,
yes.
And here there is first there's a verb, then comes the maful bihi, and then comes the file.
That's right. This is the demand of the pronoun that it has to have a specific position in the sentence. So we cannot isolate it or segregate it from shafa. So that's why it has been used with the verb shafaka. You're right. Shafa is the verb. Ka is maful bihi, and lafdul jalala is the subject.
sir, so do we use it with kasra, like shifa in, like usually we say?
Shafakillah.
Shafakillah.
Yeah. May Allah heal you
Sorry.
for your sister, for your mother,
No.
or whoever. Yeah.
I meant on the sheen, like in the ayah وَكُنْتُمْ عَلَى شَفَا حُفْرَةٍ مِّنَ النَّارِ. Is it like
that is on the verge. That means
That is
on the verge.
intercession.
You are on
Intercession.
the-
can I just, I mean, it's so can you please repeat?
That one is used as a noun. Shafa, that means on the verge, on the edge. So that's a
Yes.
noun. This is a verb.
Okay.
So that is used as mudaf, and then hafrat is mudaf alayh.
On the
Okay.
context of intercession, Ustad, like
Yeah.
no one can give you any recommendation or something like that, Ustad.
Like no one can heal you? That's what you mean to say?
I don't know, if it's used in the context of a noun, like what will be its meaning, Ustad?
Words.
On the edge or the verge of
Verge,
something.
okay.
Yeah. So that was like that's used as noun. So this is here used as verb. And
Okay.
as we see here, it was basically alif maqsura, and it has changed into normal alif. Shafak Allahu, may Allah heal you. So this is basically shafa yashfi shifa'atan. And that one that you are referring to is only a noun itself.
Okay.
Oh,
Exactly.
Amrun, ya ustadu, yakadu jarasu yarinnu. Okay, what do you remember about yakadu?
It's the sister
About
to happen. About to happen.
Something is
it
about
will
to happen.
precede. And it will precede a mudare.
And it is used, it's a different category of the verbs. Yeah, it will come in book 3. So it's called al-af'al al-muqarabah. So that is like, they show like some nearness. So
It behaves
yakadul,
in kana, Ustad. It behaves like
kana wa akhawatuha is different,
family.
and kada wa
Okay.
akhawatuha is different. Yeah, kada has its own sisters.
So immediately it will follow, a noun will follow.
Mudari.
the marfu.
Yes, it will be
And it
mudari.
has, the present tense also should be there, Ustad. It's a condition.
What is it?
Present tense also should be there. Like,
Yeah, we have to
the
use fi'l
khabar.
mudari. Yeah, that it requires the khabar has to be the present tense. So yakadul jarasu yarinu, the bell is about to ring. Arju, raja yarju rajaan. So raja yarju, you wish or you request, and yarju tarju arju and narju. Yeah, arju, I request. Arju an tasmaha lana bil khuruji. I request you to allow us to leave Alana now. قبل أن يخرج الطلاب الآخرون, before the exit of the other students. Now, as we can see here, آخرون is the plural of آخرو. آخرو, other, and آخرون, others, so or another. So الطلاب الآخرون, the other students, or it should be الطلاب الآخرون. Yes, sorry. أن يخرج الطلاب الآخرون.
File.
Yeah, file.
Yes.
That's right. Yeah, before the other students leave. So what he wants to leave earlier, before the other students leave the class or they leave. So arju and tasmaha lana, I request you to allow us. So lana, as we can see here, tasmaha, or any verb that comes, or any of them, any sigha that is used for tasmaha, asmaha, nasmaha, whatever.
So,
After that, we will use la or li. Okay, المدرس.
بقي 3 دقائق. 3 minutes are left.
Mhm.
يمكنكم الخروج الآن. It's possible for you to leave now. اخرجوا بهدوء. Leave leave quickly.
Calmly. Leave
Calmly,
calmly. Yeah?
calmly.
Calmly. Okay. Quietly or leave quietly, right? اخرجوا. So اخرج. And the plural is اخرجوا. Yeah. خرج يخرج. اخرج and اخرجوا
Nasra yansur.
بهدوء. Yeah. On the was enough. نصر ينصر.
But why,
Leave
Ustad, why
calmly.
he is asking as a single permission, but he is telling telling in a plural ukhruju, he's giving a
The teacher is giving permission to all the students. Yeah. So
okay.
One student asked on the behalf of the whole class. So the teacher is saying you can leave or leave quietly. Okay, بقي 3 دقائق. 3 minutes are left. It should have been بقيت, but we know that دقائق is unreal feminine, so that's why it's possible to use بقية and it's also possible to use بقيت. 3 دقائق. يمكنكم الخروج. يمكنكم, and you know meme sakin, when we connect it with al, it is connected with
Goes
dhamma.
into Dhamma.
Yeah, so it's like something that we learned in book 1. Subhanallah, so it's being repeated again. يمكنكم الخروج الآن. It's possible for you to leave now. اخرجوا بهدوء. Leave quietly or leave calmly. All right, so do we have time to do the exercise?
Teacher
I
said, sir,
think
you
so.
can leave, sir, in last line, sir.
What is it?
Teacher said you can leave. Last row, last
اخرجوا
line of the last
بهدوء.
page. Yes, sir.
Okay, so it's up to you. If you
لما
want.
تقولون ما لا تفعلون يا أستاذ.
أنا ما قلت شيئا يا حبيبي أنا. اخرجوا بهدوء. طيب. If you want to, اخرجوا بهدوء وبسلامة. No problem. So inshallah we will, so inshallah tomorrow we will continue with the lessons, the exercises. So hopefully you will go through the lesson again, inshallah. And if you have any questions, you are most welcome. Otherwise we can leave bisalama, right? All right, so سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
عليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام عليكم أستاذ. جزاك الله خير.
وإياكم.